If you're building a purpose-driven business, but keep finding yourself stuck, maybe you're overthinking a lot, feeling burnt out, or maybe you're just not taking the actions that you really want to, then you are going to love this episode. I'm joined by Kundalini Yoga teacher Satya Shanti Kaur, who is a master at helping people to shift deep subconscious patterns, regulate their nervous systems, and reconnect to their truth so they can build lives and businesses that feel good, not just look good. And if you don't know what Kundalini Yoga is, don't worry because we're going to cover that in the episode. You're going to be so inspired by Satya's story. She's used Kundalini Yoga to transform her relationships, break free from people pleasing, recover from her PCOS, and grow her income by 250%. We talk about what Kundalini Yoga really is and why it is such a powerful practice for entrepreneurs, why you need to do breath work and nervous system work to help you feel grounded, to regulate and keep your focus. The mindset behind her 1,000-day practice. Yes, you heard that right, 1,000 days. And what really happens when you commit to showing up that consistently. And why aligning with your truth is really the key to sustainable growth in business and in life. So if you've been feeling disconnected or maybe stuck in your head, then this conversation is going to give you some big ideas, big inspiration, and some really practical tools to help you come back to yourself and come back to your power. And honestly, this is one of my favorite conversations that I've had so far. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome, Satya. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
For inviting me.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. And I am so excited, and I know the listeners will be. So let's just dive straight into it because I'm sure lots of people have the question in their mind, what is Kundalini Yoga, number one, and what
hmm
are the benefits of practicing it?
Right. So Kundalini Yoga is, of course, like obvious, stuff like specific type of yoga. And for me, like yoga itself means union. So like hatha yoga, vinyasa, whatever types of yoga, I think it's a technology that brings us to be union. Then Kundalini yoga is one of them. But for Kundalini, it's more on spiritual aspect. So it's like we use a lot of spirituality. We have a lot of philosophy of yoga and spirituality. So I think, for example, like Hatha, they are using physicality to get into union more. But in Kundalini, it's like another pole. It's for like spirituality to get into that union. And that's why we do all the practice. We're closing your eyes because it aligns our body, mind, and soul. So it's also Kundalini yoga is like type of yoga of awareness. So if you are coming to my class, like awareness is like key in my class, like aware of your body, connect your body, aware of how it how your body is responding, reacting, something like that.
Okay. And so what are the benefits? So you say it's like that union and a practice of spirituality. So what are the benefits of that?
Right. So physically, because we are balancing our nervous system by all the breath work, mantra, mudras, asana, movement, a lot of things that we're balancing our nervous system. So when people come to practice Kundalini, they can feel like they're more calm, they're more relaxed, and they're more present. Yeah. And also emotionally, it helps expand our capacity to digest emotions. So I think most of my students, they notice when they start practice Kundalini, they feel like they are not that emotional because the capacity within us is expanded. So that's why they have room to digest emotions instead of like that kind of bottle up, that kind of feeling. So they feel like when practicing Kundalini, they can have like an opportunity and a space for them to digest and make themselves calm emotionally. And also mentally, because this is the technology that brings us back to our presence. So I think it it equips us more clarity and being neutral. And I think this is very important for a human being that we can stand in our neutrality to see things instead of that from that ego mind, that perspective. So being neutral is very important. and spiritually because it balances our chakra system and our energetic system as well.
Hmm. And you
Yeah.
just mentioned the word mudra there. What's a mudra for those who don't know?
Mudra means the hand position.
Ah,
Yeah, because our hands and our fingers are connecting to our neurons in our brain. That's why how we move our fingers, how we tap to different fingers, it gives different like signals to your neurons. And that's why it helps your brain, it helps your nervous system, it helps your the hormones, something like that.
I see, I see. So yes, I have done a little bit of Kundalini yoga. I know I've been to a couple of
Hmm.
your classes,
Yeah.
and I've also done a few things online. And certainly I found it very, what's the word, refreshing, very
Mm,
different, completely different.
yeah.
And actually, sometimes regular yoga, hatha yoga, vinyasa yoga can be quite difficult, but I feel like
Mm,
Kundalini is difficult in a different way,
yes.
if you know what I
Yes,
mean.
exactly. Yes. I completely feel you.
Yeah, some of the poses and the repetitive nature, and actually very physical as well. Some of them are very physical, but I know afterwards I have felt really open. I think you used the word presence,
Yes.
that kind of centeredness, that calmness. And also I found like my mood improved as well.
Mm. Is it like becoming more calm?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of my students did mention, like she described how Kundalini yoga helps her emotions. It's like when she practices Kundalini, it feels like how she say, it's like there is a way out for their emotions. That's why you won't go mad in life emotionally because there's like a way out when we practice Kundalini. When you move, it gives you more capacity so your emotions can be digested.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned a few differences around Kundalini and other types of yoga. Are there any other kind of main differences that people would benefit from knowing?
And I think Kundalini is really, really spiritual. So when I always say if you are into spirituality, you definitely love how Kundalini Yoga equips us back to our consciousness, our awareness, and how it can bring us deeper, spiritually. Then I think this is not really like a beneficial, but I think it's like different perspectives of seeing how yoga can bring us not only the physicality part, but also it can give you more deeper on a conscious level, on spiritual level. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because I feel like over the last few years I've gone deeper into my own spirituality,
Mm,
and it's interesting that now this is the time that I am
yeah.
most interested. So I definitely see that being reflected.
Yeah.
And what about you then? So how did you get into this area? What attracted you to work with Kundalini?
Right. I think my first Kundalini yoga session as a student is way back to 2014. And that was my first Kundalini yoga class and my first yoga class in my life. So it's like, oh, yoga is like that. Oh, that's so fascinating. And then and I fell in love right away. After I've done it, I fell in love right away. And then until 2019 that I started like to feel, okay, I got to be a teacher. I want to dive in deeper of this technology. So I went for my teacher's training. And so after that, I just taught right away. After I graduated until now, I've been teaching for 6 years. And what the reason of really teaching it consistently, because I'm originally from Hong Kong, one of the most stressful cities in the world. And before I practiced Kundalini, I didn't know, or I didn't really have a sense of relaxation. I thought it was relaxation because, okay, in our culture, people went for trouble, went for entertainment to relax from work. And I did the same. And I felt it was relaxed. But after I practiced Kundalini, I remember the first section as a student, that deep relaxation. Oh my God. I that was the first time that I deeply felt in my body, that I deeply felt what relaxation means to me. And then that was the first time that I had that experience, and I felt like people need to experience it, because if we don't experience it, we don't know. We're not aware of, oh my God, this is real deep relaxation, instead of like going for trouble and feeling better, but not deeply relaxing your body. So, and this is, I think this is one of my main reasons why I consistently teach it, because I just want to give you an experience that, oh, this is what deep relaxation means in your body, that you can feel it deeply. So even though people don't come to my class again, at least you have this experience. So when you're in life, you can feel like you are out of this relaxation or you're in it. So you are aware of, okay, I need to do something back to this state. You know, that's why I'm like consistently teaching it, to give the experience for people.
I think it's needed now more than ever. Like I think about my
Mm,
own life and how everything you just go, 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 busy, busy,
yeah.
busy, all time, work, personal life, all the things you have to do. And then
Mm,
I say that I'm relaxing by watching like
yeah.
TV in the evening. Actually, I'm not relaxing. I'm like literally
No.
exhausted and
Yeah.
too tired to work. And that's not really
Mm,
relaxing.
yeah. Oh, yeah. One more reason that why I love teaching Kundalini, because I really, I'm really touched when I see people come back to their own center. Oh, this is the most touching part as a teacher, to be witnessing this. Last Friday, I had a class, and I have one new student coming to my class, but that student was actually practicing Kundalini for a year already, but the teacher stopped teaching, something like that. I know she stopped attending that class because it was online and it's not accessible. And then so she stopped practicing Kundalini for a year, and then finally she found my class, and then she came to my class, and after the class she cried, because she
Oh.
said, I miss this connection. And then I cried as well, because I felt it. I felt it like every time when you came to my class, every time when we sing Long Time Sun, and after the
Mm.
Satnam, and I always bow to you all to say that thank you, because it's really touched me that I can witness people to come back to your own, because this is the most intimate and real and raw feelings ever in our life.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can see
Yeah.
and feel your passion as well.
Mm,
And I'm curious, so you said this was your very first, I think you said back in 2014, your very first class that you went
yeah.
to, yoga class. Did you, like, what attracted you to go into that class in the first place? Were you spiritual already? Did you know about it? Or was it just like a random thing and you were just like, no, let's just see?
It was completely random. Like
Ah,
random. In 2014, I did step into my spirituality already, but not that deep. Like, okay, I knew meditation. I did meditation. I did some spiritual practice, but not really deep. And at that time, just one ad from my friend on Facebook that, oh, I'm teaching this class. And I was like, okay. I didn't know why I went there. So I just went there and do the class, and I fell in love. So it's like so random. But that teacher doesn't like stop teaching already until 2 years later, 2016. She opened a class again, and he's like, "Oh, I need to go." And that time, I was going through a serious breakup, and that Kundalini Yoga class theme is about separation. And I was like, "Oh, I need to go." So that class, or that series of classes, was very profound for me. Very great impact. I cried a lot every single class. And then so at that time I had a sense of, oh, this is not only yoga, which is our impression like a physical exercise only, but Kundalini Yoga is really like a spiritual practice because it healed me
Mm.
emotionally. It healed my, or not healed my consciousness, but it brings a lot of awareness of what separation at that time that I was going through. So it's really like a spiritual practice for me instead of just a physical exercise.
Wow. I love
Mm,
that the total randomness of it, like how Facebook just
yeah,
introduced you to like your now profession and deep passion and the way that you change so many other people's lives.
yeah.
Shout out to Facebook, thank you. So you mentioned then about different Kundalini can be like good for different areas. So you mentioned then about separation, and I'm wondering as it relates to business and some of the key, I don't know, principles or ideas, how might they be helpful for entrepreneurs and small business owners? I know like a lot of my clients really struggle with things like
Mm,
mindset struggles like self-doubt, overwhelm, procrastination.
okay. So I'm also an entrepreneur, and I think Kundalini helps me a lot because the main teaching of Kundalini is Satnam. It means truth is our identity. And so this is the technology helps me a lot to come back to my truth. And I think as an entrepreneur, sometimes we're struggling of following something like success driven ways, but it's from others. But now I think we are getting into an era of really living out our truth, speaking our truth, using our brand voice, using your voice, which is something everything about you and yourself. Then I think Kundalini helps me a lot to really always come back to my own, speak my truth, serve my service, give out my offerings, which is my passion, that I can trust myself that, okay, this is something about me, it's not something about others. And I think being an entrepreneur now, this is really quite a key and essential to be who we really are as a unique person, as a unique brand, as a unique entrepreneur, that people see us as ourselves. Yeah. And this is first thing. Second thing is discipline, because
Mm.
uh, discipline and consistency. And I think we had a conversation about consistency and
Mhm.
discipline. And because in Kundalini, we always have a practice about doing the same practice consecutively for 40 days, 90 days, 120 days, or 1,000 days. It's, I think this is like quite a key thing, key teaching in Kundalini. Like you do the same thing every day, every single day, non-stop, consecutively. And it trains our mentality. It's not only training our consistency and discipline, but can you imagine like throughout 40 days, your mentality is being triggered or challenged because we just do the same thing every single day. And I think, oh, when was that? I was sharing something about that 40 days, that ups and downs, the curves is like people are struggling of being consistent to do the same thing for 40 days. That's pretty normal because we have a cycle in that 40 days. For the first 5 to 8 days, you'll be powerful because you're starting something new. So you feel like, oh, I'm the king of the world. I can do something like that. So you're so excited, you're passionate about what you change. And up till 10 days to 15 days or even 18 days, your muscles, your consciousness is getting used to the new thing already. So somehow you feel like a little bit indifferent, a little bit, but still you can go on. But up until 20 plus days, your mind is like, doing? It's so boring now. You gotta stop. Or maybe it's not for you. Try something new. This is how our brain is talking. And why I always mentioning to my students that you must have this cycle because people always quit in this period of time, like 20 something days, because your mind is start to saying, it's not right now. It could be something. there must be something better. You're kind of start to suffer. So that is the time that you start to struggle, but always suggest people like keep go on, like keep going on. It's just your mind talk. It's not real because your mind it starts to go. The old habits start to go, and that's why there must be a cycle. So just keep going, and after like 30 something, until your mind stops talking, you'll be at that 40 days.
Mm. I feel like you were talking to me directly then, because yes, we did talk about this, and I was so inspired, and I'm probably going to talk about it later on in the podcast, by your experience of doing 1,000 day plus practices, that I was like, right, I'm going to do 40 days. So today, I believe, is day 20. I haven't done it yet, but I have
Right. So you
done.
start to get into that period.
I am there now. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. Kind of doing it later at night now because
Yes.
I haven't made
Yes.
time for it during the day. But yeah, so I'm doing a specific practice for abundance and
Mm,
prosperity, because that's one thing that I want to both feel more as I am and live as
yeah.
we are now, but also attract more too. And I have to say, like, I need to give myself a real pat on the back, because I swear to God, I have never stuck to anything consistently for 19 days straight. Even the smallest of small habits, like, I don't know, 5 minutes exercise, 5 minutes
Mm.
meditation, I have never done it. But this 20-minute Kriya, I have done, and it was all inspired, 100,000% inspired by you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Can you feel like it's not that difficult to do something like that?
Yeah, when you told me that you'd done it for 1,000 plus days, I kind of felt like it just unlocked something in my mind where I was like, oh, it's possible. It's possible. Of course it's possible. And now I feel like I need to show myself that I have
Mm,
that discipline, and I
mm,
want to show myself, actually. I want to.
yeah. And also, you will be really proud of it after doing 40. There's like, whoa, it's like a milestone.
Yeah, yeah. I have a few things coming up though, like hen do's and stuff. So I might have to take myself away, because I'll be going away with
Yeah,
my friends and just be
right.
like, just gonna go over here, guys, and do my
Yes, yes.
practice.
So this is the challenge. This is
Amuse
the
yourself. I'll
challenge.
just be over in the bathroom or whatever it is. Yeah, yeah, it will be a
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah. When I was doing my 1,000 days, there were some challenges because I'm flying quite a lot to teach and the time difference, jet
Oh,
lag. Oh,
oh,
and I remember I had COVID during that 1,000 days, but I still did it.
wow. That is discipline, and that's the thing. It is it, and that's what you need in business. I 100%
Yeah,
agree. And
exactly.
it is about just consistently showing up over and over and over again, even when you feel ill, even when it's boring, even when,
Yeah.
because sometimes you show up and you're like, oh, I'm ready, I'm excited, this is great, and
Yeah.
that's when you're like, yay, easy. But it's when it's not, that's when the discipline really is needed.
Mm, yeah. Oh, one more benefit is because Kundalini helps us to balance our nervous system. And I think the nervous system as an entrepreneur is quite important that because we must go through a lot of challenges, rejections, and people are indifferent about like they're not interested in your offerings, something like that. And if our nervous system is not balanced enough, we will be easily triggered. Then it challenges a lot. That you'll feel like tense, you'll feel nervous, you'll feel like depressed. And that's why I think balancing our nervous system helps us a lot to deal with this rejections or something negative or something failure felt like failure. Yeah, I think so. If your nervous system is balanced and healthier, then you can be like, okay, that's rejection is rejection. It's nothing personal, you
Yeah.
know? Mm.
I think that's massive, actually. I know when my nervous system is dysregulated,
Mm.
my number one thing I like to do is avoid. I'm really good at
Ah,
that
yeah,
avoidance, and
yeah,
just go.
yeah, yeah. Like hide yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I don't often think we talk about like well, certainly in coaching, we talk about the mental aspect, but there is that huge emotional aspect and, the body. And that's
Mm,
why something like this is so fabulous.
yeah.
And you mentioned about a shift that you had personally in terms of the separation with your ex-partner.
Mm.
What's a shift that either you or maybe your students have seen, maybe in their lives or maybe in their business, as a result of practicing Kundalini Yoga?
Mm, right. Especially in business, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Yeah.
Right. So myself, because of the nervous system is being regulated, I think I am more focused on doing my work and my job instead of spending a lot of time to cry.
We're
Real,
laughing
because
because we know what it's like.
real and authentic. When being an entrepreneur, of course, we got rejected, and then people doesn't like us, or oh, people say you're too pricey, something like that. Like a lot of
Mm,
suggest, like a lot of voice, a lot of feedback that so it will distract us to do something that we're supposed to do. And so sometimes like it's not our way doesn't work. It's just we were distracted to do something we're supposed to do. And I think this is one of the things that I can find my students that they have more, like they can earn more, they their business is more expanding. Basically it's because they're more stable.
hmm
They can be more focused on what they're supposed to do instead of focusing on the rejection, instead of focusing on the wrong thing or the negative things, because or people's advice, people's suggestions, people's feedback, clients, da da da. They just focus on their own. They just come back to their power and do whatever they need to do. Yeah. And also because Kundalini Yoga is something that is working for our subconscious level as well. So, and that's why I have some offerings is about prosperity, which is going on a lot of subconscious beliefs about prosperity. And then my students, when they attend that class, they feel like they have cleansed a lot of subconscious belief on prosperity. And that's why it gives easy, like it's easier for them to earn money or to make their business successful, or they can trust themselves more that their ways work. Mm,
hmm okay, so that's really interesting. So what I'm hearing you saying is there's something there about actually focusing your attention on doing the thing that you want to do
yeah.
without getting distracted, and then also something deeper around the subconscious beliefs
Yeah.
that might be driving some of your behavior or not behavior. No, I could talk to you a lot more, especially about the money side. I feel like I've been going on my own kind of money learning belief journey, but I'm mindful of
Mm,
time. And we have done a lot of talking already. And what I would love is if you could show us something that the listeners could try today. So, some kind of
mm,
mini practice, mini something, if that's possible, just to get a feel of what it might be like,
okay.
please.
Yeah. Then one simple exercise is just shrug your shoulders, like inhale deep through the nose and shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, let go. So inhale up, exhale down. You can just close your eyes and do it like 1 minute, 2 minutes, or even 3 minutes, because our shoulders physically, as an entrepreneur, we sit a lot and then we use a lot of computer and then your shoulders was tense. So physically, this practice is easier for you to just release. But on spiritual level, if you have tense shoulders, it could mean that you unconsciously take a lot of responsibilities that is not yours. And that's
Hmm
why you got tense. This is how our nervous system responds. And so I think, especially as a woman, that we unconsciously bear a lot of responsibilities that is not ours because we just sometimes we just care too much. Our family, our career, kids, parents, pets, a lot of things. But basically, it's not completely our responsibility somehow. So I think this is like you can bring attention and awareness to your shoulders and do this, that you can consciously let go of all the responsibilities that is not yours.
Mm.
Yeah. And also another breath work that I always do, if you feel like you need to come back to your own in just 1 minute, you can do, we call it 1 minute breath, that inhale through the nose for 20 seconds,
20. Okay.
20 seconds, and then hold your breath for 20 seconds and exhale through the nose for 20 seconds. It will directly calms your nerves right away. But of course, like this is 20 is not easy. So you can start
Mm.
from 10 10 10, and you
Okay.
can build up from time to time. So 10 seconds inhalation, 10 seconds hold your breath, 10 seconds exhalation.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. That's part of one of the careers that I'm practicing
Oh, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, that one, yeah.
yes, yeah. And it was
Yes,
20 seconds. I could not do 20 seconds.
yes.
It's
Then you can
very
start building up from 10 10 10.
okay.
Mm.
That's fab. So yeah, it's there is a lot of well, breath work's very sexy at the moment, isn't it? And I think
Mm.
like there is a lot of focus on the breath and movement and everything. It feels like Kundalini is breath work plus 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 plus.
Yes, plus, plus, plus.
So you're interested in breath work? Well, it's like meditation, breath work plus 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 plus. So yeah.
Exactly.
All the things. And what would you say to someone who might be interested in practicing, but maybe they're put off by some of the spiritual connotations? Because we have talked about that a fair bit. So, yeah, what thoughts would you have around that?
Right. I always suggest people to be open-minded, to try something new. So I'm not saying this must be for you or not, but at least if you're open up to try something new, then you will know if this is something for you or not. I always suggest people to do that. For example, because we will wear turban in Kundalini Yoga class, like I as a teacher, I must wear my turban. And there's science behind it and also spiritual reason behind it. And but I always suggest people like you can try. You can just try like putting on a hood and you can feel if it is something different for you. Then if it is right, then if you feel good, then try even more. Like, okay, then wearing a head cover, how do you feel about it? Do you feel more like focused when you're doing meditation? If it does, then go for it. If it doesn't, that's fine. At least you try something different and you can prove to yourself that if this is something right for you or not.
Yeah,
Mm,
follow your own experience.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Fab. And if people are interested in learning more, then what would you suggest would be a good next step? So you said try something different, but what would you specifically say they could go do? Obviously, if they are in Lancaster, they can come to a
Mm,
class with you. But yeah, what
yeah.
would you suggest?
Of course, if you're in Lancaster, then you can come to my class. Or if you're not in Lancaster, I'm also having online class as well. But the first thing that I always suggest people is try to find like a live class with a teacher really holding that space if you are new, because Kundalini Yoga can be quite activating because we are working on our subconscious level and our nervous system. So, like Ali said, we have a lot of breath work. Then you know how powerful breath work can change our body system, that your nervous system your body might feel numb, and then it could be quite activating emotionally. So I always suggest people to go for a live class that a live teacher is holding the space, and make sure you are safe to do all the practice throughout the session.
Well, I think that is time. And I just want to say thank you so, so much, Satya. I have really enjoyed our conversation. I
Me
know
too.
everybody listening and watching will have as well. It's been just fabulous spending this time with you and getting to learn so much about Kundalini Yoga, about yourself as a master of your practice.
Thank you for inviting me, and I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed our conversation always.
Yay. So where would people find more about you if they wanted to follow you on social media, if they wanted to listen to your podcast? And I'll obviously put all the links in the notes below. But yeah, where people can find more about Satya and get involved.
Oh, you can just um check on my Instagram. I have all the information on my Instagram.
Amazing. Okay, so I
Yeah.
shall put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Sat
Thank
Nam.
you. Satnam.